A few years ago, when we started preparations for the third European Mineralogical Conference, I never could imagine that the situation in the world will get so complicated. I was very excited that the conference would be held in Poland, and of course not because I want to have to travel far. I was glad that finally many of my friends with whom I work will have the opportunity to visit the beautiful city of Kraków. The trips planned as a part of conference were to familiarize participants with locations interesting for scientists dealing with mineralogy. Unfortunately, something that probably not many of us had expected has happened, and we had to adapt to the new reality. We were forced to move and work into what we called remote reality. Of course, like me, you probably discovered that some advantages of this situation. For example, you could almost at the same time attend several meetings in different cities or wear slightly less formal clothes, quite unofficial if we were not required to turn on the camera. Personally, however, I would prefer the situation before the pandemic as much as I would rather stand in front of you than speak to the camera. But it is what it is, and we have to act as the situation allows us to. That is why I'm very happy that, although remotely, we managed to organize the conference, and thus we can present our latest achievements and ideas to each other. I know that the organization of our conference was a great challenge, not only for the local organizing committee, but for all the conveners who look after their sessions and taking care of the scientific level. Therefore, as the president of the Mineralogical Society of Poland, I would like to thank all those who contributed to making our conference possible. Especially, I'd like to thank the local organizing committee led by Tomek Bajda, the former president of the Mineralogical Society of Poland. I thank the European Mineralogical Union and, of course, the representatives of all European mineralogical societies who actively participated in the preparations. Thanks to the organizers of all scientific sessions. I know that it was not easy to convince participants to submit abstracts for next remote conference. Another thank you to our invited speakers whose lectures will undoubtedly make the conference program more attractive.
On behalf of the Scientific and Organizing Committee, I would like to welcome you to the third European Mineralogical Conference, EMC2020. The third European Mineralogical Conference is organized by the Mineralogical Society of Poland on behalf of other European mineralogical societies. Deutsche Mineralogische Gesellschaft, Mineralogical Society of Great Britain and Ireland, Mineralogical Society of Finland, Österreichische Mineralogische Gesellschaft, Russian Mineralogical Society, Sociedad Española de Mineralogia, Société Française de Minéralogie and de Cristallographie, Società Italiana di Mineralogia Petrologia, Swiss Society of Mineralogy and Petrology, with participation of European Mineralogical Union, Institute of Geological Sciences, Polish Academy of Sciences, Deutsches Geoforschungszentrum. Over 500 participants were registered for the conference. Within 23 thematic sessions will be presented almost 300 orals and 120 posters. We will hear 7 plenary speakers. 22 keynote speakers will give orals upon invitation. At this point, I would like to thank all these who were involved in the developing of the scientific concept of the conference and its organization. I sincerely thank the members of the scientific committee for their substantive contribution to the development of the thematic session. Thanks to, in alphabetical order, Marc Blanchard, Gerhard Bray, Pier Giulio Capelletti, Giuseppe Cruciani, José Fernandez Barrenechea, Reinhard Fischer, Tapio Halkoaho, Heidi Heffer, Sergei Krivovichev, Maciej Manecki, Frank Melcher, Kevin Murphy, Ewa Słaby, Daniel Worbert. I would like to thank my colleagues from the organizing committee for their enormous effort put into the organizational work. Thanks to Jakub Kierczak, Krzysztof Szopa, Justyna Topolska, and special thanks to Anna Iglot and Marta Polak from Coffee Conference Company. I invite you to actively participate in the conference. Enjoy the EMC 2020. And now we are connecting with the studio with Professor Ewa Słaby, President of the European Mineralogical Union.
Dear colleagues, welcome to Kraków. However, my welcome is coming from Warsaw. Welcome to the third European Mineralogical Conference, EMC 2020, however, being held in the year 2021. European mineralogical conferences have become a perfect forum for the presentation and discussion of the best mineralogy, pathology, and geochemistry in Europe and far beyond its borders. That is why I address my welcome to all of the participants from European and non-European countries. Welcome. I welcome all of the eminent speakers and guests participating, sharing their knowledge and vast experience. You suggested a lot of topics for the conference. That is why the final program was shaped by many conveners. Many sessions have brought a lot of presentations with depth and quality of science. But a conference is also something like a multi-dimensional concept, encompassing, of course, scientific elements, but also societal and institutional elements of development. And I truly believe that all of them, they will be seen in the presentations, the talks and posters. So I think this will be a very exciting time for us due to your presentations, due to your lectures, due to your posters. They all will give us a chance to grow, to be motivated, inspired, and open to new ideas. Such an event like EMC and all others following such a conference can ensure that mineralogical sciences are at the cutting edge. Wonderful. What is also important, the conference, it opens a space for everything what belongs to mineralogical sciences and related fields. But we also have other participants coming from industry. They could be policymakers, founding agencies, media. And here the conference is really interesting because for the first time in the history of EMCs, the conference is fully held on digital platform in line of the COVID-19 pandemic rules. So the conference is fully safe. However, believe me, we would be happy to have you here personally, directly in our beautiful Kraków. However, in our country, people say that what is delayed is not entirely lost. So maybe one day, who knows? And at last, not least, on behalf of the European Mineralogical Union, I would like to take the opportunity to thank everyone who has contributed little or large to what will be an outstanding and memorable science meeting. Thank you, and thank you for your attention.
I would like to thank all the participants. I wish you successful presentations and that the lectures you will listen to will inspire you. At the same time, I would like to ask you to actively participate in the conference. It's primarily up to you how successful the third European Mineralogical Conference will be. It is my great pleasure and honor to present the Jozef Morozewicz Medal awarded by Mineralogical Society of Poland for special merits for the development of mineralogical sciences. Jozef Morozewicz was an outstanding Polish petrographer and mineralogist, organizer of scientific institutions, and excellent academic teacher. In 2020, the Mineralogical Society of Poland decided to honor with the medal of Jozef Morozewicz Professor Andrzej Manecki from AGH University of Science and Technology in Kraków, in recognition of his scientific achievements and efforts for the development of mineralogical sciences in Poland. The scientific research of Professor Andrzej Manecki has resulted in a series of scientific papers on feldspaths, meteorites, and atmospheric dust. Professor Andrzej Manecki introduced the concept of aeromineralogy to the literature and created the first research school in Poland focusing on the mineralogical studies of atmospheric dusts. He is a co-author and author of many widely read academic textbooks and encyclopedic publications. He is the author of excellent popular science books in the field of mineralogy and meteorites. For 30 years, he represented Polish mineralogy in the Commission on New Minerals Nomenclature and Classification. On behalf of the Mineralogical Society of Poland, I would like to congratulate and thank Professor Manecki for his outstanding contributions to the development of mineralogical sciences in Poland. Thank you.
Dear Professor Kierczak, dear Professor Bajda, dear all members of the Mineralogical Society of Poland, I thank you for this medal named after Professor Jozef Morozewicz. Professor Jozef Morozewicz is a famous Polish mineralogist and petrologist. He is the first in Europe who started experimental petrology at high temperature. Thank you for this beautiful medal.